the tech editor from BestProducts.com, and today we are going to chat about drones. There's probably, most of you have probably heard about drones for one reason or another. Consumer drones are getting increasingly popular and more capable each and every day. And today we're going to be taking a look at one of the top offerings on the market by Parrot, which is called the Bebop 2, announced earlier this year. Parrot, in case you haven't heard about them, it's a French company. They're design driven, they do some pretty cool engineering stuff too, and they're one of the leaders in the drone space together with DJI. So the Parrot Bebop 2 is a consumer friendly drone. It costs about $500, between $500 and $550 depending on where you go to shop at it, where you go to shop for. Has a built-in camera, so this is a 14 megapixel camera with a fisheye lens that can also capture full HD video. That's 1080p at 30 frames per second. Has clever image stabilization, so even while you're flying, the images will come out nice and crisp. Same goes for the video footage. Built-in GPS, so you can set, actually, you can set routes, GPS routes for the thing to fly by itself, you know, and capture footage. 8 gigs of built-in memory, so that's pretty reasonable, and has a removable battery which allows it to fly for about 25 minutes, which is also pretty robust. So before we dig into the details and put this thing into flight, just be aware, drones are cool toys. They do a lot of nice, cool things and capture beautiful aerial images, but occasionally they can also be a bit dangerous, so please be mindful about safety, your safety, the safety of people around you. Those propellers can really hurt you or someone else if they come to contact with them. Also, at least in the United States, the FAA requires drone owners to register their purchases, so that's another thing to be mindful. The process is fairly easy, but you still need to be aware. And always be mindful of local laws, because for example in New York City you can just take a drone to the street and fly it anywhere you want. So that was the part that's not fun, so now we're going to talk about the fun part. So Parrot Bebop 2, one of my favorite accessories about the drone is the little cap that it has above the camera that you cover and uncover, and controlling it takes place from a smartphone. By default, Android smartphone or an iPhone, there's an application with a pretty clean interface. There's also an option for this very elaborate controller that you can do. So you take out the controller, it's pretty large, it's an antenna, so it has even larger range. You attach a tablet here, an iPad, has its own battery, you know. So it's a pretty elaborate setup, though it's not necessary to purchase that. You can just buy the drone and control it from the smartphone, or you can actually buy it as a bundle, the drone and the controller, and save a few dollars. But this is optional. So what we're gonna do right now is we're going to try and put this thing into flight and see what it can do. So battery, those are rechargeable with a proprietary charger and connector. Fairly easy to do. I'm gonna connect the battery. I'm going to move now into an area with a bit more space. So connecting the drone to your smartphone is pretty easy. You need a Wi-Fi connection and use as Wi-Fi Direct, which is actually more robust than a regular Bluetooth connection, more reliable. And when you turn on the Wi-Fi on your smartphone, once the drone is turned off, there's a little button on the back right here. I want to show it to you. So you press a 1, now it's going to start turning on. So this means that the drone will start powering up. It will blink a few times and then it will blink, it will go solid red. That means that the drone is ready. So when you connect it to your smartphone, when the drone is ready, you open your Wi-Fi settings and the Bebop 2 will show up as a Wi-Fi network. Once you select it, your smartphone will establish or tablet will establish a direct connection with the drone, and this way you'll be able to operate. And then you're gonna open the app and you can actually see the app is pretty elaborate as well. You got free flight, which is the default mode that we're gonna try in a bit. The flight plan is the one that I mentioned where you can utilize the GPS. It costs a little extra, but you can do a set route. This is if you're somewhere very scenic and nice, you can actually set a route and the drone will fly around it and capture footage with it. So the free flight mode, once we click on it, this is the interface. So the camera is actually on already because it's basically gonna be our eyes. You can see our feet. Hello. You know, there we are. And now we're gonna power it up. So once you power it up, it automatically elevates to 1 meter, which is a little more than 3 feet, and it's awaiting your commands. Speaking of commands, while it's waiting for us, I can show you there are 3 different modes to choose from. There's Ace for more advanced, there's normal, and there's a joypad. In this case we've selected normal, but you can also set up the maximum altitude that the device can reach. In this case we've selected 2 meters, which is a little more than 6 feet. We want to make sure that it doesn't hit the ceiling, and you can also hit the max distance. But the actual max altitude is much larger. I mean, it can go up to 150 meters, which in feet is 500 feet. Yeah, 500 feet of height. That's pretty high.
You could have said anything.
And also the maximum distance is also pretty huge. It's more than a mile. So we're gonna reduce those. All right, and now we're gonna try and power it up. Oh, all right. So by default, the moment that you start flying it, it starts to capture video. It's currently capturing video. You can also rotate. Oh hi. Hello. Hello drone.
Can it do a barrel roll? We have a comment.
This one, I don't think that this particular one can do a barrel roll. Whoa. Whoa. I want to crash it. So.
And do you know how high it can fly?
Oh, it can go very high, like 500 feet if you're outdoors. So it's definitely pretty high. Like I mentioned, it captures video footage by default, but there's also an option on the interface. If you want to just capture a still image, you just tap on the still image photo and it captures the still image. All the images are stored on the device, built-in memory. We mentioned it has 8 gigs. And if you notice on the back, it has a micro USB port, so you can connect it to access the memory. Actually, right here. Yep. So let's go back a little further again.
And what's the battery life like? Do you know? Or?
So the battery life, it can last about 25 minutes in flight, which is fairly reasonable, you know. And the battery recharges for about an hour. You can buy additional batteries if you want to capture more footage, you know, for a quick change. Other cool accessories include there's a cool backpack that Parrot will show you that's made specially for the drone. You can just pack the drone and all the accessories there conveniently.
And someone's wondering, can it do any dances?
Can it dance? So this particular one, I don't think it can, or at least I haven't practiced enough.
Combination of two.
I'm sure that as
already better than me at dancing. So
yeah, I mean you can.
I'm not agreeing about it being better than you. Related.
So dances are certainly possible, though they will require some practice. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, like I mentioned, practice is
I won't bring up
essential.
dancing anymore, Joe.
No dancing, huh? But yeah, dancing will be possible. No, no, no. Yeah, like I mentioned, I don't have much experience with that, but it is pretty cool. Oh,
See how they take these down?
what's that?
See how they take these down? There's two ways that they're taking these down now. There's a gun,
Oh,
right? That
that's not a lot.
blasts a
We can just
blasts something like a wave
Uh-huh.
and takes it right down.
Yeah.
And then my father's telling me that they're training eagles.
Yeah, eagles, we noticed that you can train eagles as well.
Yeah, they're training eagles right now to take them down.
Alright.
Oh, and someone was wondering again, they just tuned in. How much does this cost?
So the price of the drone is $550 for the drone alone. If you want to buy with a controller that we already showed you, it costs about $799, I think. Not I think. I'm certain. It's $799.
And what is the retailer for Bebop?
What is the? I'm sorry.
Like, where can someone pick this up? Like
So
online or?
I'm not gonna move it. It's available on Amazon. You can also buy directly from Parrot, but I think it's a bit more. I think Amazon currently has it for $500, so this is probably where I'd go to order it. But Parrot also has an online store. There are two colors to choose from. You can get it in white or in bright red. So it's up to your taste. Whoop. And the landing, you just press the landing button and it lands.
Perfect.
All right.
So that was the Parrot Bebop 2 that we just flew.
Very cool.
Lightweight. It's also pretty robust. I mean, the way they designed it is they kind of expect you to crash it
Perfect.
once in a while. So this one has a soft shock absorbing material around the camera, and the whole thing is generally bouncy. So it will take an occasional crash landing probably pretty well. Those are replaceable. If you buy the full set with the controller, there's an extra set. There's a tool that you can remove them with. Batteries please pop out, so I don't want to do it right now because I don't want it to start in my hands, you know. So that was pretty much it. We're gonna check out the footage a little later. I've seen plenty of samples on YouTube. It looks great, you know. And with a bit of practice, you can capture some pretty good stuff. So Parrot Bebop too.
Awesome.
Thank you guys
Thank
for
you very
stopping
much.
by. Enjoy the summer.
Thank you.